strengths and weaknesses, and there's some
Like
of them are
you and
better
your
leaders.
ASVAB buddies. We just all bring
Yes,
something to the table, and
it is the
once
same.
we put it
Like
together,
I think, like me and another guy were the leaders when they're just like, here, oh shit, you're fucking great at math, do this, and then
yeah.
all of this, you just see everybody's eyes be like, oh, we're like, yeah, we do this. Just be quiet about it.
Because even though you all had those skills, somebody had to like bring it all together. Somebody had to be
It
the
was,
producer of this
it,
production.
that was, yeah, and I was me. That was usually me recognizing the more grandiose part of it and be like, hey, I think we could do some stuff here. And then, yeah, as people looking like, hey, what if they bring me information? Like, oh yeah, we could do that. Just that kind of nonsense. Whereas like, and then you look at it like later in my life, like, oh, there's the reason I was stuff there and shit. Like none of that. It was like, were you scared? I was like, no, I just felt like I was in the right place when I finally found my people when I was working with those guys.
Yeah, that's got to be a head trip, just because the whole time you're there, or just I don't know, like just on your toes. Cause, yeah, you don't know what's gonna happen, even if you know what you're planning on doing. You don't know what reactions you're gonna get.
No,
And
you
are
know
you
the
ready to
plan
pivot?
and what you're trying to do, and then when you go in, it is all you're just aware of all contingencies. But also, there's a part of it in this sport. I don't know if it's been on the podcast, but it's like there's a part of when I worked, not on the Borat 2 one. I didn't even realize that was Borat. Maybe until like way later after I did my part. That's how compartmentalized it is. But the first one I worked on, it's like there was like parts of it where I was like, man, this could all be. I could be the mark. So I was like very. Don't try to be funny when you're not supposed to. Don't say anything inappropriate just to get a laugh. Just like 'cause you could be the mark, and
Yeah,
you're like, I'm also a flawed human being, so I don't know.
you don't want to
But
be
I
the
never
star of
was.
Windy City Heat.
Yes, exactly. So you're just like, okay.
As they
You
invite
realize,
you to the premiere and you're all proud, like I worked on a movie, telling everybody
yes.
back home, and then you see it up on the screen and you're like, oh no.
No. Yeah.
There
No,
was
there
another
was like just
camera
a
off to
little
the
hint of that.
side that
Yes.
I didn't see. That's what was really filming the movie.
So
Yeah.
I knew enough about it. Like I wasn't like you get a law of my to do this
Yeah.
stuff, but if it wasn't my part, I would go turn that motherfucker off. Turn it back on. It was out there.
All right. Do you have a favorite line of this episode? One that really stood out for you?
I mean, I'll just be honest. The propane and propane accessories is one of the best lines of all time because you expect him. I sell propane. Like
Yeah.
that's something that
And that's
somebody. But the propane accessory
and saying
is
not sell propane and accessories, but propane accessories is a very
yes. I sell propane and propane accessories. Yes, it's such a distinct, defining line of who Hank is as a human being.
yeah.
Like he's thorough. He's want to communicate exactly who he doesn't want confusion about who he is, but he's very proud of what he does too. So there's no hidden agenda with Hank Hill,
Oh, never. No.
and that's what that line conveys. And a
Yes.
thoroughness is what he's. I'm gonna do a good job. I'm prideful. It's what I do, and I enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
And there's something so respectable about
Putting
that, but
on those
also hilarious.
three extra words, and it is just something that even if there's a Hank Hill delivery to it, but yeah, there is just something that propane, and I mean one propane is just the P sounded word, but propane and propane accessories, and it just hits. And that's, you talk to people, if you tell me one thing you know about King of the Hill if you've never seen an episode. Hill sells propane and propane accessories.
Sell propane and propane accessories. Yes, it's like someone that gets their dream job.
Mm-hmm.
Like comic. We know comics and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like, and I think it's awesome when you hear the pride that is.
You have an MVP of this episode.
Uh, I think Bobby.
I agree. Yeah, definitely
Bobby's
Bobby-centered episode.
and it's a Pamela Adlon.
Yeah,
She's the MVP because, like you said, the way she delivers the line is there's so much emotion behind it. It's like someone that sings a song where you're like, what makes somebody a good singer?
mm-hmm.
And you're like, it's not like we've all heard people with beautiful voices that you're like, yeah, that's great. But then someone that can come on like a Tracy Chapman or something like that, where they say a line and you're like, oh,
Yeah, I felt.
oh, you're just like, I gotta go cry now. That was yeah, like she has that ability with it, but to do it through a child, which is come on.
And also, like the one she had to really, but then the other lines where, they ask Bobby a question, and Bobby just like, okay, because he's also like, yeah, this doesn't interest me. This is all I have to say about it, and just very flatly, okay, and that's all he needed to say. What do you think would be a lesson you
No, like all these stereotypes and all these things. Some of them are real, most of them aren't.
My lesson learned from this is a little more basic. Just keep your eye on the ball. If you're in a place where there are hard projectiles possibly coming at you, pay attention.
You talk about baseball when they put those nets up.
Yeah.
People are like, let's go to the game. I'm like, listen, it's not 1966, 1971. The true baseball fans aren't sitting there. They can't afford to sit there. They're not watching the game. These are rich kids and rich people who are on business meetings and things like that. They're doing 900 different things, and they're not watching the game every second to know if the bat's flying out.
Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't mind it just for that reason. That it's always whenever I go to a game, great those few times you get those like really good seats right down there front, but also knew that this kind of became a much less relaxing day.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
And it's also knowing that, like, if that's coming at me, I'm probably not going to be able to get out of the way. But maybe I can get a hand up or something, some way to, catch it.
You just
hit my face.
Oh yeah, you just want to break it forearms. Yeah. That's easier than that head.
Face. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was did you have just a happiness from this episode? Something that really made you happy?
I mean, rewatching it, the happiness I felt was how, just from a comedic standpoint, how defined the voices already were from the pilot.
Yeah.
That part, but that was there's like as a grown up, that was the happiness I got out of it, was that, one of my heroes I was right about from the start. Yeah. Like there's a reason I still love everything. And like I realize like he's part of why Mike Judge's style influenced my style of comedy with like subtle nuance. Away, like sure we'll play with stereotypes, but most people aren't stereotypes. So we have these tendencies that we are like. So there's like a subtleness to what he did that I realized later that I was incredibly inspired by. But I remember watching it as a kid, and the happiness that I took out of it was like I have an adult cartoon now.
Ah, yeah.
Like I had like the Simpsons were a thing, but it was zany and outrageous. It was more, to me, I like the Simpsons, don't get me wrong. I think it's fucking brilliant in its own way, but it was more a commentary on American society that I didn't fully relate to. And King of the Hill was a show where it's like, I know these people. I know why all this is very funny. This rings true to my experience as a human.